I just want to say before you watch this that we are not going to have spoilers of any sort, so you can actually continue to watch it if you're worried about, learning too much about the new movie. We don't know anything. You don't know anything. Let's go. Fish to Enterprise. Fish to Enterprise.
Now is not the time for that.
I can't do anything right. Hi, I'm Griwkowsky. I'm here with Curtis Ross. We're both big fans of Star Wars, and here we are once again. It's been another year, and there's another Star Wars movie. How do you feel, Curtis?
I think with every other movie that's come out in my adult life, I've seen like the trailers and everything, and just been inundated with it. And this time, I've really tried to avoid it. So I feel like I'm going in not really knowing a lot.
Pretty funny in this day and age how difficult it is to not see and hear so much stuff. I mean, like, there's several layers of trailers, and you can pick up Vanity Fair and see pictures of everything and stuff.
Well, I literally had to put like filters on my internet kind of things because I don't want to have it spoiled. Seeing Force Awakens, we soaked up all of it because we're so excited about what this is going to be. And we knew the movie kind of before we saw it.
Curtis is really funny because he's threatened to kill me if I tell him certain things, because I'm always trying to figure it out a little, but I still won't read everything.
At first, everyone was really happy. Then upon second, third viewings, you're kind of like, wow, this is very, they're taking a lot from the old stuff. There's a lot new here kind of thing. And so I think what's happening now is anyone going to be happy from any Star Wars movie? Because Rogue One came out, which was like a super deep fan movie, which a lot of people really, really liked. I liked it a lot. But then other people were like, who are these people? I don't know who these people are. I don't like this movie at all.
It felt like Force Awakens was kind of written by committee, off of a wall full of sticky notes saying, we like little people talking about the Force. We like Death Stars. We like people living on sand planets. And it's like they smashed all that into one movie. Rogue One, which I think is honestly, I've been having a hard time. I think it might be my favorite Star Wars movie ever, including the first one. It's just a real movie. But that movie really came up with something fresh and made the world bigger and all this sort of thing. But I think when it comes down to it, what Disney, who now owns Star Wars obviously, is doing is they seem to be dipping their toes into the water a little bit and doing the Marvel thing where they have different sorts of tones of films.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think a big question is what sort of tone is Rian Johnson's movie going to have, The Last Jedi? Because the expectation is, because when we were kids in 1980, Empire Strikes Back came out, and it was like, oh my God, this is so dark, and it's like,
dark.
Everybody's in pain. Han Solo's in carbonite. Sorry, maybe that's a spoiler. But and so we expect this film as well to be even darker than the last one.
Yeah, and be careful what you wish for when you want darker, because like Episode 3, like Revenge of the Sith, was darker, but it was like not necessarily fun or good.
Well, it's funny. I mean, he really hates the prequels, and I forgive the prequels. Obviously, nobody in the world likes Jar Jar, but the thing about the prequels is that they made a very big universe with a whole bunch of stuff, and they did have a lot of great things. Like the Emperor was pretty good in it, and Ewan McGregor did a good job of Obi-Wan and stuff like that. And I felt for Anakin and Obi-Wan because we saw where they ended up. And one of my problems with Rogue One is I didn't necessarily feel for these new characters. Force Awakens. Intuitively, I kind of did, because of course, I think one thing Abrams was good at was casting. And his dialogue was pretty good too. And Daisy Ridley, her face is just so expressive. So you are drawn into them. But if you really look at that movie, there's kind of not all that much going on with them as characters necessarily.
You're not going to make everybody happy, but it seems even harder now. Do you want like a really deep fan movie with like lots of deep cuts and hidden things and expanding the universe? Or do you want like a big, bubbly movie that like everyone in the world can get into and not think too much about? Rian Johnson, what's he going to do? I don't know.
Looper, one thing I didn't like about Abrams was with The Force Awakens was sort of the way he, like with Starkiller Base, and there were in a lot of ways he seems like he didn't understand how things should work in the galaxy. Like Starkiller Base shoots a laser and it moves really slowly and blows up all these planets, and they can see it from another planet. If you're a nerd, you know what I'm talking about. But Rian Johnson made Looper, which is sort of a tight, hard sci-fi idea. So I think he's probably going to be better at that kind of thing.
Yeah, like I'm kind of hoping those gaping, like, how can they see that from their planet kind of thing in space. That stuff doesn't happen so much. It's interesting. Is he going to sort of split the difference? And like I've heard the criticisms of Force Awakens, and I'm sure that Disney has too, and Rian Johnson has. So I have a feeling if they're smart about it, they're going to expand the universe. They're going to take some more chances. They're going to take some more risks. I hope, because like, but I mean, that being said, I've already seen the poster, and there's like, we see walkers, which is like, oh, Empire Strikes Back had walkers, right? So it's like,
yeah, and the bat, and it looks kind of like, you know, A-wings and stuff in space, or
who knows? Yeah. I don't know.
We don't know. But the I think what's really important, and in some ways, maybe this is mean, but it did in some ways feel like J.J. Abrams had a job to do. Like, he just basically had to fill in a bunch of blanks. You know, I know for a fact that he wrote the movie kind of visually. Like, the thing that he had first in mind was that Star Destroyer on the sand. I feel like Rian Johnson is more after a story, a really tight story.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, Force Awakens, I give, you know, the benefit of the doubt to, because I feel like they really had to reboot sort of the franchise. They had to like make it not a prequel. So the biggest fear anyone had before Force Awakens was that it was going to be prequel-esque, and then afterwards it's like, oh no, it's a little too close to what we remember. Let's open it up a little bit more, maybe.
You know, one big thing that's changed too, I think, since like way back 35, 40 years ago when Star Wars first came out, or you know, that original trilogy, is TV. So we have these epic, gigantic TV shows where it's hundreds of hours, and you really get to know characters for a long, long time. So in a way, we are kind of expecting people that we only see for an hour and a half or 2 hours to have the same depth, and that's not necessarily very fair. So.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know, we never get to know Han Solo as well as we knew like Tony Soprano or whatever, right? So, because that was like how many hours in TV compared to the movie.
I just love the way Tony ate. The biggest question, though, about The Last Jedi is, what about the Porgs? Like, what are these guys going to be like? Are they going to overwhelm us with like screaming and cuteness? Because there's a slight Jar Jar factor.
Are they badass in any way? Like, do they kill things? Like, are they predators? I don't know what they are. I mean, they're cute.
I love them.
I like them. I'm excited for it. I know very little. And I trust Rian Johnson because of Looper. Was really, really good. I think he knows how to tell a better story and has a little better of a grasp of science than Abrams had. And for what little I've seen, it looks pretty awesome.
You're gonna wake up the baby.